What's up guys, it's Rex Collects and welcome back to a different kind of video. And in this video we're going to be discussing why I choose to use an older TV. So I've been kind of doing more of these kind of physical media and tech type videos, and I'd say we're going to keep going with that. And this video, and you can kind of see my reflection, hey, and this is going to be on why I choose to use an older TV, and it's kind of simple. Modern TVs just ain't for me. For example, right, on this older TV, which is, this TV is a 2010 Sony Bravia, which I picked up for 40 quid at a charity shop, right? I was in the market for an older TV, and I'll explain why I chose this kind of one specifically. But let's go over why I choose to have this over a modern TV, because up until maybe about 2 or 3 months ago, I had a 2025 Hitachi Smart TV, and this is why I went for this. Number one, on most older TVs, the sensor and whatnot that for the control are on the side versus being in front. So if the TV's at a certain angle, it'll work a bit better. If I had consoles in front of this, which I have previously, they would block the sensor. So it's great for that, and most TVs have that. Whereas in most modern TVs, they are right in the center. Speaking of the center, on these older ones, you can, granted mine is not in the best position to do it because it will hit into things, but you can swivel an older TV. You can't do that with modern TV. Instead, you get this, and here's the downside to it. You join me through here in my living room, and you'll notice you get these instead. No more center bit. Then again, that's where your center is, so maybe that's something to do with it. But you'll notice that these, and I do apologise for the dust in here, these break. These are the little corner feet you get, rather than able, you'd actually physically turn the TV with its stand rather than a swivel mount. So that's the other reason I went for an older TV. More adjustment. I also should mention, for basic use, this TV's, both of these feet are now broken. Great. The other reason is choice of ports. Now this is a modern smart TV. You do not get a whole bunch of choice in terms of ports. In fact, it's really just HDMI, and this is a slightly older smart TV from 5 or 6 years ago. So you still get composite. Unfortunately, that's not really the case on most modern smart TVs. For example, the 2025 Hitachi that I was speaking about. Versus on the older TV, I get all of this. So on this side, you can see that you do get many different ports. In fact, this TV here has 4 HDMI ports, which is absolutely brilliant. As well as AV composite, 2 SCART things. Now, SCART's mostly useful to me as I'm a VHS collector. Yeah, someone can put in the comments I'm old. But generally, all the additional ports on this TV, it just seems to go a bit better. Those are just some of the reasons that I choose to use an older TV. In terms of picking a TV, I kind of wanted something like this. See, the main game consoles, the other reason is, certain game consoles look better when you buy TVs from around the era that they were manufactured in. For example, got my Xbox 360 here, which is the Modern Warfare 2 edition, and my PS2 are the two main things that benefit off this TV. I've also, previously, while owning this TV, owned an original Xbox, so that also benefits. See, this being a TV from that era, it just looks really nice, and it's probably the better way to play some of those consoles. Now, you might argue that with a PS2 or anything older than that, like the original Xbox, why not get a CRT? Well, I also watch movies and TV shows on this, and it was all about picking the right medium. Like, I could go back and get a CRTV from, like, you know, the 90s, early 2000s, and just get, you know, the AV to HDMI adapters and go that way, which is very true. That is a good way to go. But I felt that, you know, I didn't want to watch all my shows in that quality. If I'm watching an old VHS, which is something I do tend to do, it would work great for that. But I genuinely found that this is the right mix between having some modern comforts. Like, it's not quite a smart TV. This is from 2010. But it does have some interesting features. You know, being a Sony TV, you can hook many different things in it, like cameras. It's got some interesting menus that way. But I kind of felt this was the right balance between old and new. But yeah, I thought I'd make a small video on this. I might make similar ones going forward. Thanks for watching.